It's almost time to rally in the valley. But first, it's the Matsu Miners pregame show, brought to you by Napa Auto Parts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into Herman Brothers Field. I'm Emma Tiedemann alongside Austin Pollock for today's matchup, doubleheader actually, between the Alaska Goldpanners of Fairbanks and the Matsu Miners. Miners off a win yesterday against the Chinooks, 12-1, and the story there was definitely Ryan Hendricks got the start, went 7 innings, gave up 4 hits, struck out 7, gave up 0 runs, and only hit 1 batter with a pitch, but no walks. Just an outstanding start by Ryan Hendricks, and the Miners were able to back him up, give him some, I'd say, pretty great run support, scoring 12 runs, and Conley with a triple, 3-run triple. It's just, scores all over the board. Panachone reached base twice, Newell with an RBI single, Decker had a 2-run double, and it just seemed like the bats were there, the pitching was there, and that's the kind of Miners ball that we are used to seeing, and it was great to see it all come around full circle.
Yeah, Ryan Hendricks, he has really just been stellar in his last 3 starts, including a relief outing on the 19th against the Bucks, win an inning, but in his last 22 innings, he has given up just 1 earned run, and that is such a different Ryan Hendricks than we saw pretty much the first half of the summer, and he's really stepped things up to be probably that number 2 guy in the rotation for Ben Taylor and Brad Baker, with Tyler Stubblefield being the first, and he gets the ball tonight. And in what is a pretty crucial game against the Panners, as the magic number is 2. So if the Miners win and the Pilots lose Game 1 of their doubleheader, which starts at 5 o'clock, the Miners will clinch the National League. But if the Miners fall and the Pilots win, then it stays at 2, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. And then if both teams win, it's to 1.
Yes.
Got it. I hope all of our listeners get that. It's a little complicated.
It kind of is. It's just really any combination of 3. It's, if the Miners win 2 and the Pilots lose 1, that's 3 and the Miners are in. Any kind of situation along those lines where the Pilots lose and the Miners win, then the Miners are able to make it into the top of the World Series. And, of course, if our listeners have questions, they can email or tweet at us. But, yeah, that's kind of where we're going now with the, wanting the Miners wanting to clinch their division. But then on top of that, if they have the overall best record, then the chances are that the Miners will play whoever they will play in the World Series here at Herman Brothers. And that's just another icing on the cake kind of thing if the Miners win out.
Yeah, and this game just so important just because it's the Miners against the Panners in what could very well be a matchup in the top of the World Series. And, the Miners, they split up in Fairbanks, and this is a good hitting team for the Panners. Their pitching is not as strong as their hitting, so the Miners really have a very solid shot in Game 1 with Tyler Stubblefield and also with Sevi Romo in Game 2, because Sevi has been just really strong out of that starter's role, and it's almost like you're just so confident going into both these games with the guys that you give the ball to.
Yeah, definitely, and Tyler Stubblefield definitely that number 1 guy for the Miners, and Romo working into that starting position for that number 3 or 4 spot for the Miners. And talking about the Panners real quick, Panners and the Bucks, it's kind of where it's at in the American League. The Bucks are now 4.5 games back behind the Panners, but they, it's still anyone's game. The Panners could lose a few in a row. They do not play any more games at their home field at Groudon Memorial Park in Fairbanks, so that might be an issue. Those home runs in Fairbanks are easy to come by, but at every other park in the league, in the ABL, they're a little bit, normal-sized ballparks. And so that might be something to look out for the Panners kind of struggling with. They're hitting, and like Austin said, the pitching isn't the best.
Yeah, and I think the last time these two teams faced, that was in the first day of the Scout Showcase, and those games are just, they're odd. I mean, they're just so much different. It's a neutral site, and you're trying to display players at different positions or players in different spots of the order. I mean, we saw Jordan Rogers leading off, and it was just a lineup that we have never, ever seen. And that in no way doesn't mean that the Miners aren't trying. It's just you try to it's just strategy for how you get these guys to get looked at, and sometimes you got to group a certain group of players in the lineup together, and then another group in another lineup. So I think that really it's just right now it's sure you can look at it, and it was also a non-league game, so that doesn't count. So the season series between these guys is one game apiece, and the Panthers won on a walk-off home run. And in my mind, a walk-off home run, that's anybody's game because you play just neck and neck to the last pitch. And sure, the Panthers got that last pitch, but in a way, one thing that's done differently in the minors could have won that game. So really, I would say it's pretty even right now.
Yeah, and if you're you can't really take any stock away from the Scout Showcase. And if you're gonna look at it, I think that the thing to look at is that second game of the Scout Showcase when the Miners beat the Bucks, and we saw kind of a more usual lineup that we're used to seeing, the usual guys in the outfield and the infield. It was more of a Miners lineup that we see day to day, and with that, and the Bucks also was their usual lineup also. And even though it didn't count, I think mentally it really helped the Miners because going into that game, the Miners were 0-2 against the Bucks, and Bucks are a very difficult team to beat. They're very similar to the Miners, and after that 2-1 win for the Miners over the Bucks, I think that really helped morale. It didn't count to any records, anything like that, but I think mentally it really gave the Miners some confidence, saying, this team we haven't beat all summer, even though they've only played them twice, we can beat them, and they are beatable. And that's why I don't really look at the first game of the Scout Showcase, because it was the Panthers. We saw a very, very different lineup. A lot of the starters weren't in. But that second game, that's what I'm really kind of looking at, if you want to take something away from this weekend.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And I think that going into this game, these guys are confident. They know that they have a 4-game lead on the Pilots. They know that this Panthers team is beatable, and they know it's a tough stretch, but they're confident. And, a 12-1 win yesterday for them against the Chinooks, and, they've lost to the Chinooks. You can't really say you have to tip your cap to the Chinooks at certain times. They can pitch, they can hit.
Well, they did enter with a 5-game win streak.
Exactly. So these guys are definitely capable of playing in this league, and any team that you beat in this league, that's a tough win just because there's so much talent really in all 6 teams. So it looks like we're almost ready to go. And Emma, what's the lineup?
Well, for the Miners, Paul Panachone leading off at shortstop. Cameron Newell in right field out of UC Santa Barbara. Batting third is Matthew Decker out of Stanford at first base. Josh Meyer doing the catching tonight for Tyler Stubblefield, batting fourth. Cameron Frost out of Washington State in center field. Johnny Loker batting sixth in left field. Terrence Conley out of UNC Wilmington at second base, batting seventh. And batting eighth is Hunter Simmons out of Utah. Simmons doing the designated hitting, followed by Jordan Rogers in the ninth spot at third base. And, of course, Tyler Stubblefield out of Texas A&M is on the mound for the Miners.
Well, Ben Taylor and Mike Grahovic, the head coach for the Miners and the Panthers, they are exchanging their lineup cards at home plate. We are almost ready to go on a pretty solid afternoon here for Game 1 of a doubleheader between two of the top teams in the Alaska Baseball League. Mike Grahovic and Ben Taylor shake hands. We are almost ready to go. And now let's bring you inside Herman Brothers Field to public address announcer Wolfgang Winter.
For plastic bottles and aluminum cans. I want to thank our official sponsor of Matsu Miners Pull Tabs, the Munch Shot Saloon, Palmer Bar, and Panhandle Bar. Check out their daily food specials and buy Miners Pull Tabs. I want to also thank the sponsor of baseballs for the 2014 season, Pacific Northwest Regional Council of Carpenters and Carpenters Union, Local 1281. I want to thank Alaska Airlines, the official sponsor of Matsu Miners Travel, and the official sponsor of the Matsu Miners Internet broadcast, Napa Auto Parts of Alaska. Jim Ruda, the owner. You only have a few days left, folks, to sign up to possibly win that Miners jersey. So go into your locally owned or operated Napa store. There are entry forms at the apparel shack, beer shack, but you have to drop them off yourself at the Napa store. So check those out. Only a few days left to take part in that drawing. Did you know, folks, that all Miners games are broadcast live on YouTube? Austin and Emma provide live play-by-play of each game. Visit MatsuMiners.org. Look for the Listen Live button. You can view other Miners videos, including the pregame profile interview with a player, as well as Taylor's Take, Manager Ben Taylor's weekly show. Thank you again to your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts for being the official sponsor of the Matsu Miners broadcast. Again, welcome to Alaska Club, our first game day at the park. And let's meet the starting lineups. First of all, let's meet the visiting team from Fairbanks, the Alaska Goldpanners. Leading off, left fielder out of Pasadena, California, and Pepperdine University, number 2, Brandon Caruso. Batting second, out of Ladera Ranch, California, and UC Irvine, right fielder, number 17, Chris Paulino. Batting third and playing shortstop, out of Orange, California, and Orange Coast College, number 7, Cody Knoll. Out of Chino Hills, California, the cleanup hitter, Concordia University, Irvine, the DH, number 30, Vaughn Mazoyan. Batting fifth, out of Dublin, California, Cal State Fullerton, first baseman, number 28, Tanner Bingston. Batting sixth, the center fielder, number 10, out of Terre Haute, Indiana, and Indiana State University, Jacob Hayes. In the seventh spot, out of Bakersfield, California, and Fresno Pacific, second baseman, number 5, Hunter Villanueva. Batting eighth, the catcher, number 3, out of Rancho Santa Margarita, California, and Long Beach State, Eric Hutting. And batting ninth, out of Fresno, California, and UC Santa Barbara, third baseman, number 8, Ryan Clark. Starting pitcher for the Goldpanners at Oceanside, California, and Westmont College, number 28, Russell Carmody. Introducing the coaching staff of the Goldpanners, manager Mike Strong, pitching coach Ken Hoka, and assistant coach Anthony Hutting. And now the starting lineups for your Matsu Miners. Out of Fiora, Arizona, and Grand Canyon College, our leadoff hitter, and the shortstop, number 3, Paul Panachone. Batting second, out of Roseburg, Oregon, and UC Santa Barbara, right field, number 14, Cam Newell. Batting third, the first baseman, out of Portland, Oregon, and Stanford University, number 28, Matthew Decker. Catching and batting cleanup out of Michigan, California, and Grand Canyon College, number 24, Josh Myers. Out of Washington State University in Tumwater, Washington. Batting fifth, center fielder number 22, Cameron Frost. Batting sixth, left fielder out of Fury, Washington, and Stanford, number 12, Johnny Loker. Batting seventh, out of Garden City, New York, and UNC Wilmington, second baseman number 26, Terrence Conley. Out of Mountain View, California, and the University of Utah, batting eighth, the DH number 20, Hunter Simmons. And batting ninth, out of Arlington, Tennessee, and the University of Tennessee, third baseman number 7, Jordan Rogers. Pitching for the Miners, number 50, out of Dival, Texas, and Texas A&M, Tyler Stubblefield. And please welcome our coaching staff, head coach, Mr. Ben Taylor, pitching coach, Mr. Brad Baker, assistant coach, Mr. Sean Winston. At this time, we ask you to please rise, remove your head cover, face that flag behind the center field fence, and sing along with the instrumental version of our national anthem.
With championships in 2004, 2007, 2009, and 2010, the Miners are looking to bring a title back to the Mat-Su Valley.
This is the longest championship drought in 10 seasons.
8 former Miners selected in the 2014 MLB draft, and head coach Ben Taylor is back for another season of baseball in the Valley.
Here we go. Mat-Su Miners Baseball on the Miners Radio Network.
2-0 pitch swung on, lifted to center field. Charging is Frost. Frost makes a diving catch. What a play by the center fielder.
Sent out to deep right. Going back is James Avant at the wall. He will watch it go.
High fly ball down the third base side. Going back for it. It's at the wall. Smith rounds first, heads to second. But it's in there standing for a leadoff double.
Here's the pitch. Swing, a high fly ball out to deep left. Back goes Adam Manzer. It's gone! A grand slam, and the Miners walk off with the win! Johnny Loker, welcome to the Valley!
And now, the voice of the Miners, Austin Pollock and Emma Tiedemann on the call right now.
Good afternoon and welcome inside Herman Brothers Field at the Alaska State Fairgrounds for Game 1 of a doubleheader between the Alaska Goldpanners of Fairbanks and the Mat-Su Miners. I'm Austin Pollock with Emma Tiedemann. A 12-1 victory for the Miners last night against the Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks, and this is a big game. Miners trying to clinch that National League, and they turn the ball to Tyler Stubblefield, the lefty out of Texas A&M, who leads the ABL in ERA, a 1.26. He also started the All-Star game for the National League. And he will now face Brandon Caruso, the leadoff man for the Panners. Caruso out of Pepperdine, just finished his freshman year. Checks in at 279, no homers, and 9 RBIs. Stubblefield with the glove over his face. He kicks and fires the first pitch. And it is a fastball in the inner half for a called strike, and we're underway at 4:05 Alaska time. A 1 pitch from Stubblefield. Low, and that is ball 1, 1-1. Stubblefield is 4-0 with a 1.26 ERA. That puts him first in the ABL in that category. He's only walked 9 in 35 2/3 innings. 1-1 pitch. Fastball low and in, and ball 2, 2-1.
Also, he's only given up 5 earned runs through 35 2/3 innings pitched.
Caruso was 1 for 3 in Game 2 of the doubleheader yesterday for the Panners. They won both against the Bucks. 2-1 chopper left side, scooped by Panachone. Throw to first, and there's one away. That'll bring up Chris Paulino, the right fielder. 317, 4 homers, 20 RBIs. Paulino out of UC Irvine. 0 for 3 in Game 1 yesterday. That was a 2-1 victory for the Panners against the Anchorage Bucks. That's a tight race in the American League. Bucks are 2.5 games out. Paulino bats in on the left side against the lefty Stubblefield. Red tops for the Panners, green for the Miners. Infield in, especially the corners. First pitch in there, called strike with an off-speed pitch. Rogers is in on the grass at third. Decker still on the dirt, but not far off from the grass. 0-1 from Stubblefield. Inside, that is ball 1, 1-1.
There's also quite a gap out in left center field. Frost is over to our right a couple feet.
Stubblefield kicks and fires the 1-1. It's a breaking ball. That's a little too far outside, 2-1. Paulino is 4 for 14 since July 12th against the Pilots. That's when he went 4 for 5 with 2 grand slams. That's a fly ball to right field. Newell moves to his left and makes the catch for out number 2. That'll bring up Cody Nulf, the shortstop out of Orange Coast College, and he is perhaps the most dangerous hitter for the Panners, hitting at .348, 8 home runs, and 34 RBIs.
Also can hit for extra bases, 7 doubles, and 1 triple.
He had a 19-game hit streak going into the first game of that 2-game set up in Fairbanks against the Miners. First pitch swing is a liner reeled in by the shortstop Panachone for out number 3. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Stubblefield. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. Miners coming up in the bottom of the first on the Matsu Miners Radio Network. One, two, three inning for Tyler Stubblefield. Now the Miners try to give him a little run support. Paul Pinichone, Cam Newell, and Matthew Decker against the righty Russell Harmoning. Harmoning out of Westmont College has finished his sophomore year. First pitch to Panichone is off speed, but in there called strike. Panichone checks in at 287, no homers, 13 RBIs. Harmoning kicks and the 0-1. Chopper left side, charging as a third baseman Ryan Clark, and throws a strike to first. One away. That'll bring up Cam Newell, the right fielder, out of UC Santa Barbara, hitting .366, 7 homers, 39 RBIs. Newell's .366 average puts him third in the ABL. Newell bats from the left side. Doesn't strike out a lot, just 8 in 112 at-bats. First pitch from Russell Harmoning is a fastball that's a little high for ball 1.
Cam Newell, 38 RBIs. 8 doubles, 7 home runs.
1-0. Fastball in there called strike, 1-1.
Also have had the opportunity to meet Cam Newell's family, parents and brother here.
Yeah, they're very nice, very friendly.
His brother looks very similar.
I did notice that.
And they sound a lot alike, too.
1-1 low, scooped up by the catcher Eric Hutting, 2-1. Newell has hit 9 of his last 10 games and has reached in 28 of the 29 games he has played in. 2-1. Broken back dribbler, foul, just to the right of that first baseline. Now 2-2 on Newell. He's going to grab some new lumber. Matthew Decker to follow, then Josh Meyer, Cameron Frost, Johnny Loker, Terrence Connolly, Hunter Simmons, and Jordan Rogers. Newell has a new bat with a 2-2 count and 1 away in the bottom of the first and no score. Outfield is straightaway left fielder Brandon Caruso, very deep in left. Harmoning with the tan glove over his face as Newell stands in. Harmoning gets the sign from the catcher, Hutting. He kicks and delivers the 2-2. Dribbler to short. Scooped by the shortstop, Cody Nelf, and fires a low strike to the first baseman, Tanner Pinkston. Now there's 2 away. That was a close call at first.
Yeah, it was. Newell really hustled down that first base line. He knew that was kind of a slower ground ball than we usually see to the shortstop and thought he could beat it out, and he almost did.
Now here's Matthew Decker, the first baseman from Stanford. 267, 2 homers, 14 RBIs. First pitch from Harmoning. Off speed, outside, ball 1. Decker 2 for 5 yesterday against the Chinooks. He's 3 for his last 8. Pitch is low and away for ball 2, 2-0.
Decker with 2 home runs, 14 RBIs, 5 doubles, participated in the home run derby on Sunday.
2-0 from Harmoning. Chopper right side, scooped by the second baseman, Hunter Villanueva. Sidearm throw to first. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Russell Harmoning. It's no runs on no hits, no errors, nobody left on. We are through 1. No score on the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Up, 3 down for Russell Harmoning in the bottom of the first. Now Tyler Stubblefield back out there for the second to face Vaughn Bazoian, Tanner Pinkston, and Jacob Hayes. 4, 5, and 6 for the Panners. Bazoian stands in at 297, 7 homers, 30 RBIs. Hitless in 4 at-bats in the second game yesterday of the doubleheader. First pitch from Stubblefield is low and away, off speed, ball 1. Bazoian out of Concordia University, Irvine. Stubblefield the glove over his face. He kicks, and the 1-0 is fouled off to the right side, out of play, 1-1. And if that foul ball does damage to your car, visit our friends at the locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts. They're in Big Lake, Palmer, and Wasilla. Visit www.napaalaska.com. 1-1. Lifted right side again. Decker gives chase and foul ground, but it's out of play, and it's 1-2 on Bazoian. Bazoian, very tall, 6'5", 210 pounds, from Chino Hills, California. He was an all-star. 1-2 from Stubblefield. Off speed, outside, 2-2.
Also participated in the home run derby and helped a player from the Bucks, wiped his forehead with a towel. The next pitch, he hit a home run. 2-2.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout for Tyler Stubblefield, 1 down in the top of the second. I'll bring up Tanner Pinkston, the first baseman from Cal State Fullerton.
That is the 35th strikeout of the season by Tyler Stubblefield.
I think it was Dylan Butler. I think
it was,
the Bucks. Was it Butler? Here's Pinkston, 318, 3 homers, 26 RBIs. One of those home runs against the Miners. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch is a fastball on the outer half for a called strike, 0-1. Pinkston hit .298 with a home run and 19 games for the Cal State Fullerton Titans. 0-1. Low and away. Ball 1-1.
Now, you were saying that the Panners do not strike out a lot before the game started.
Right.
And Stubblefield just struck one out.
That's true, he did. 1-1. Breaking ball in there called strike 1 and 2. They're not allowed one strikeout.
Well, your stat earlier, it was very interesting. Because I was, Stubblefield, #1 pitcher for the Miners.
Well, I mean, you're going to strike out in a game, but they don't have ridiculously high numbers. 1-2, check swing, and that's strike 3. Kingston chased a ball that was very low and away, and it's actually hard to tell whether that was a called strike or if they're just going to go with a swinging strike, and it looked more like that was a called strike.
Yeah, definitely a called strike.
Guess a little low and away in the zone. So that's back-to-back Ks for Tyler Stubblefield, and now 2 down. And there you go. Panners don't strike out a lot, but 2 straight Ks. Here's Jacob Hayes. First pitch fastball, and there a called strike. 0-1. Hayes at .369, 7 homers, 34 RBIs. Goes to Indiana State. 0-1 from Stubblefield. Low, 1-1. Jacob Hayes is second in the ABL on average at .369. Bats from the left side, 1-1. Lined and caught at second base by Terrence Connolly. Another 1-2-3 inning for the Texas A&M Aggie left-hander. It's no runs on no hits, no errors, and nobody left on. We are through 1.5. No score on the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Another 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Stubblefield, Josh Meyer to lead things off against the righty Russell Harmoning. Meyer, Frost, and Loker. Miners went down 1-2-3. Panachone grounded out to third, Newell to short, and Decker to second. Meyer out of Grand Canyon hitting .275 with 1 home run, 7 RBIs. Harmoning glove over his face. He kicks, and the first pitch. Off speed, that's drilled into right center, and that's down for a base hit. First hit of the afternoon for the Miners, and the leadoff man aboard. And here comes Cameron Frost. First pitch swinging from Meyer. Hit it to that perfect spot of the ballpark. The wind actually tailing to the right, so it got down in right center, but the speed from Paulino, who was in right field, was able to cut it off before Meyer really had a shot at extra bases. And here's Cameron Frost. First pitch is fastball a little upstairs for ball 1. Frost out of Washington State hitting .336 with 5 home runs and 22 RBIs. Harmoning from the stretch, 1-0. Line, that is into left for a base hit. Back-to-back singles for the Miners. Meyer up to second base, and that'll bring up Johnny Loker out of Stanford. Loker at .359, 3 homers, 8 RBIs. Loker was 1 for 17 for Stanford this past season. He appeared in 39 games. Runners at first and second. Myers singled to right. Frost singled to left. Third baseman Ryan Clark is in. Not on the grass. About a step or two behind the grass. Harmony working from the stretch. First pitch is low, and that's ball one. Loker 4 for his last 6 with 3 doubles. His mom is visiting. 1-0 on Loker. 2 for 3 with 2 doubles in last night's game against the Chinooks. 1-0. Lined and taking it short by no. Flips to second for 1 on to first. That's a double play. 6-4-3, and now there's 2 away. Frost is retired for out number 1 at second. Loker retired at first for out number 2, and Meyer on third, and that'll bring up Terrence Connolly, who's really, really been hitting the hot bat right now.
He has. He had a triple yesterday, 3-run triple, and it's just really that guy that can move those base runners, sack fly, sack bunt, really anything to move those base runners.
First pitch low and in, ball 1 with a fastball from Harmoning. Connolly at 303, no homers, 11 RBIs, and 6 for his last 12. First run of the afternoon for the Miners, 90 feet away at third in Meyer. 1-0 count on Connolly. Here's the pitch. Lifted left side, foul out of play, 1-1. Connolly hit 246 with a home run and 26 RBIs for UNC Wilmington this spring. Center fielder Jacob Hayes playing a little shallow in center. Harmoning sets, looking at third, delivers the 1-1 to Connolly. That's a called strike on the outer half with a fastball, 1-2. Pretty decent crowd early on here for a Tuesday afternoon.
It's just a beautiful day, 70 degrees and sunny. Can't get much better than this.
If it was like 65, I'd be a little happier.
Oh, well, you always have a problem with the weather.
1-2, foul again left side. Still 1-2.
But considering the amount of rain we've gotten in cloudy days, all that stuff, it's nice to have a day like this. Yesterday was beautiful, too, in Chugiak.
I think we'll see maybe a bigger crowd for Game 2.
Oh, yeah, after people get off of work.
Yeah.
I know our host family's coming to Game 2.
1-2. And that hits him. Gets Connolly right on that left shoulder. So now runners at the corners with 2 outs, and here comes Hunter Simmons.
Number 20, Hunter Simmons.
Simmons out of Utah. Hitting .227, no homers, 9 RBIs. Hit .198 for Utah as a freshman. Just finished his freshman year. College teammate of Hunter Rodriguez, lefty out of the Miners bullpen. First pitch from Harmoning is breaking ball low, but called a strike, 0-1. Simmons last played on the 19th against the Bucks in day 2 of the showcase. Went 1 for 3. Bats with that open stance. 0-1. Off speed outside, 1-1. Outfield straightaway left fielder Brandon Caruso from Pepperdine playing deep in left. First baseman Pinkston holding on Connolly at first. 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2 with a fastball. Simmons has hit in 4 of his last 6 games. He's 5 for 21. His mom, Marie, is a fantastic cook.
And so nice. So is his dad.
They're both very nice, and they certainly teach their son well. Fastball, called strike 3. First strikeout for Russell Harmoning and the Miners strand runners at the corners. It's no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on. We're through 2. No score on the Matsu Miners Radio Network.
Top of the third and still scoreless here at Herman Brothers Field. I'm Emma Tiedemann alongside Austin Pollock. It's Tyler Stubblefield still on the mound for the Miners, has 2 strikeouts through 2 innings. At the plate is Hunter Villanueva. Villanueva, second baseman. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Villanueva, a freshman out of Fresno Pacific University. Bats right and throws right. Hometown is Bakersfield, California. Nueva with 2 home runs and 15 RBIs on the season. Here's the 0-2, and it is a 3-pitch strikeout for Tyler Stubblefield and his 3rd strikeout of the afternoon.
And there you go. Whenever Stubblefield's on the mound, Jordan Rogers comes in, gives him that little bit of a chest bump.
That brings up Eric Cutting, the catcher, from Rancho Santa Margarita, California.
That's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. First pitch by Stubblefield to Hutting is a little high and inside, but called strike 1. And actually, it's Hutting, right? That was a high school teammate of Josh Meyer.
I think, I'm trying to remember.
Was Hutting?
I know we were in Anchorage when we figured that out.
0-1 is a little high for ball 1. No, it definitely is. No one else is from
Myers from Mission Viejo.
1-1 is swung on and ground ball to Conley, the second baseman. Flips to Decker at first, and that is 2 away.
Now batting third baseman, Ryan Clark.
That brings up Ryan Clark, the third baseman. Clark, a sophomore out of University of California at Santa Barbara.
It was Evan Manarino from the Bucks.
That's
the
it.
pitcher. That's who it was. Don't worry, I was thinking about that too.
Yeah. First pitch by Stubblefield is in there, called strike 1. Clark with 8 RBIs, 6 doubles, hitting .359. Infield straight away. Rogers in a little bit at third base. 0-1 is outside for ball 1. Outfield is straight away, except Frost in center field is to our right. So there is a gap in left center. Stubblefield sets and delivers the 1-1. In there, called strike 2. Catches that high and inside corner, the strike zone.
Stubblefield in this start so far, the fastball has been between 87 and 89, and the changeup just under 80 miles an hour.
Says the changeup is his best pitch. 1-2 is fouled back, and then Clark stays alive with the 1-2 count.
Clark out of UC Santa Barbara. College teammate of Cam Newell, the Miners right fielder.
1-2 pitch by Stubblefield is fouled on the first base side. Count remains at 1-2 count.
Like to say hello to my mom back in Boston. I know she's watching.
Well, my mom and my Tutu are listening right now.
Hi, Mom.
Hey, Tutu and Mom. We're good kids. 1-2 to Clark. Swung on and fouled straight back.
I'm very fortunate to have Tyler Stubblefield on the broadcast, 2-3 times now?
Yeah, yesterday. He was on there he didn't talk a lot last night, but he was on the broadcast.
Well, they're usually keeping that radar gun in the pitcher's book.
1-2 is another foul, this time towards the third base dugout.
And John Farindelli. And I think when we're in Chugiak, they have a better view and they can get a more accurate reading on the radar gun when they're in the press box, just because it's right behind home plate and there's no seating right directly behind home plate.
And the other time at Chugiak, it was raining and they were cold, so they came in.
That's right.
1-2 to Clark is grounded into the gap between second and third base, and that's a base hit for Ryan Clark. First base runner of the afternoon for the Panners, and that brings us back to the top of the order with Brandon Caruso.
You know, it's funny, actually. I was, during that at-bat, while Clark was just fouling off pitch after pitch, I was thinking, Stubblefield sit down 8 in a row, and I didn't say anything. And it's a good thing I didn't.
See, you're learning.
I am.
You're learning. First pitch to Caruso is inside, but called strike one. Oh, and that reminds me, I forgot to give BT the Lollygagger shirt today.
Oh, you got it?
I got it. Yep.
Do you have it with you, or is
No,
it at home?
I forgot it at home.
It's all right. Off day tomorrow.
Check at first and gets away from the first baseman, Matthew Decker, but Clark is still at first safe. Kind of took a little while to get up, but he is now standing.
Did he get the one with the name on the back?
Yes, Crash Davis on the back. Awesome, awesome shirt. I wore mine the other day. Oh, one is high for ball one, and kudos to any listeners out there who knows what movie Lollygaggers is from. Austin still does not understand that little joke in the lovely Bull Durham.
I'll get to it. I'm very busy.
Yeah. You make time for Bull Durham, though. And 0-2 is a little high for ball two. Is 2 balls and 1 strike. Scoreboard operator got a little ahead of himself. Here's the 2-1 by Stubblefield. It's lined to the shortstop, Panachone, for out number 3. And as we head to the bottom of the third, the Panthers score no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. Still scoreless through 2.5. You are listening to the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Bottom of the third at Herman Brothers Field, and we're still scoreless between the Panthers and the Miners. At the plate now is Jordan Rogers out of the University of Tennessee. Just a quick reminder, it is a doubleheader tonight, this afternoon and today, and both games will only be 7 innings. First pitch, Rogers shows bunt, pulls back, and takes it as ball 1. So just 2 7-inning games, of course extra innings if needed. 1-0 pitch by Harmony is blown away, gets away from Hutting. That's ball 2. Rogers with 14 RBIs, 6 doubles, 276 average on the season, and has had a pretty good hot streak lately. Had a triple in the All-Star game. 2-0 pitch is swung on and lifted into foul territory. The first base side, Pinkston gives chase and catches it in foul territory over the fence on the first base side, and that is the first out.
Yeah, one benefit of playing here in Palmer is that short fence in foul territory to the side of the dugout. Of course, if you're from our point of view, if it's to the right of the dugout toward the bullpen, that's a very short fence and very easy to sort of just put the glove over and make the catch.
That brings us back to the top of the order, Paul Panachone. First pitch by Harmony is called a strike.
You know, remember you had said that the Panthers don't strike out that much?
Yes.
112, fewest in the ABL.
0-1, swung on slow, ground ball to the third baseman, Clark. Throw to first, quickly 2 away. Brings up Cam Newell, 0 for 1 with a ground out to the shortstop in the first inning. Newell with 39 RBIs, 8 doubles, 7 home runs.
39 RBIs, that leads the ABL.
Comes the first pitch by Harmony, and they're called strike one. Newell with the 363 average, batting second in the minors lineup this afternoon. Here's the 0-1, is inside for ball one. Newell, the lefty out of UC Santa Barbara. Outfield playing straight away for the Panners along with the infield. Nobody on, still scoreless here in the bottom of the third. 1-1 pitch is swung on and foul down the first base side for strike two. 1-2 count now for Newell with 2 away.
No score in the bottom of the third.
Pitch by Harmony is lifted into foul territory down the first base side. Third baseman Clark trying to chase it down, but this one goes out of play behind the bleachers on the first base side, so not able to catch it over that short fence.
Harmony entered this afternoon's game 1-2 with a 4.67 ERA in just one start. That came on July 13th against the Pilots. Went 4 innings, gave up 5 hits and 4 earned runs.
1-2 is inside, ball two. Newell sets. Harmony looks into his pitcher, Hudding. The windup and the pitch. Breaking ball. Called strike three. And it's 3 up, 3 down for the Panners. And as we head to the top of the fourth, still scoreless through 3. Reminder, only a 7-inning game. You are listening to the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Top of the fourth here at Herman Brothers, and we are still scoreless through 3. I'm Emma Tiedemann alongside Austin Pollock and Chris Polino at the plate. Tyler Stubblefield on the mound. And here's the first pitch by the A&M Aggies, swung on for strike one. Polino 0 for 1 with a fly out to right field in the first. Has 4 home runs, 20 RBIs, and 5 doubles. The lefty out of Orange, California. 0-1, swung on and fouled on the third base side. Slow roller for strike two. Polino, the lefty. Actually from Ladera Ranch, California. And the 0-2 is swung on and lifted into shallow left center field. In comes the left fielder, Johnny Loker, and makes the catch for out number 1. That brings up the shortstop, Cody Nolf. He is from Orange, California, a sophomore out of Orange Coast College. Lined out in his first at-bat in the first inning. Has 8 home runs, 34 RBIs, 7 doubles, 1 triple on the season. Stands in the right-handed batter's box. First pitch, check swing, went around for strike one. Nolf is hitting .348 on the season.
He's a dangerous hitter at the plate.
0-1, fouled back for strike 2. Tyler Stubblefield getting ahead in the count early, I've noticed, with a lot of these batters, a lot of 0-2 counts and 1-2 counts.
You know, the thing with Stubblefield is he doesn't really like guys on base. I mean, no pitcher does, and it doesn't really get in his head, but it's just really something that he will – it doesn't bother him. But the thing is, when guys do get on, he just says, all right, well, you know, there's a guy on. I'm going to get the next guy out.
1-2 pitch is ground ball fouled on the third base side.
And, you know, Cody Nolf, when we've seen him play, and this includes the All-Star game as well, he hits the ball really, really hard. And what it is he doesn't really wait for that pitch to come to him. He actually and literally goes out after the pitch. He pushes his body toward the mound when he swings the bat.
1-2 is high and inside for ball 2.
You know, sometimes I wish I can just show it, but it's really hard.
Hopefully people can see it through the camera. 2-2 is swing and a miss, strike 3. Fourth strikeout of the night for Tyler Stubblefield.
And he also just swings so hard. And I think he hits the ball hard because he pushes his body out toward the mound, but it's also the bat speed because of how quick his hands are.
That brings up Von Bazoian. Probably has to have one of the coolest names in the ABL.
Oh, it's a great name.
Sophomore out of Concordia University, Irvine. Hometown is Chino Hills, California. 0-1. First pitch by Stubblefield is swing and a miss for strike 1. Bazoian listed at 6'5", 210 pounds. He's a big guy. 0-1 is a little low and inside for ball 1. Bazoian struck out swinging in his first at-bat in the second inning. Has 7 home runs, 30 RBIs, and 9 doubles on the season. Hitting .297. The 1-1 pitch by Stubblefield is lifted foul down the first base side. 1-2 count now for Bazoian.
Bazoian played for USC as a freshman. The Trojans.
One-two pitch by Stubblefield. Little inside for ball 2.
Yeah, I think Meyer wanted the call.
Kind of held it there.
Yeah, from home plate umpire Robert Mays. Tim Davis, the umpire at first.
Swung on and ground ball up into left center field for a 2-out single for Bazoian.
You know, the Panthers, the key for them is they hit the ball so hard because a lot of their guys are just so big. 6'3" or taller. Bazoian, of course, 6'5", and Pinkston 6'6". Those are two of the big guys right there. But Cody Nolf, he's a little guy. He's 6 feet, 180 pounds, but he hits the ball hard.
So the second base runner of the game on first base for the Panthers. And Tanner Pinkston, the first baseman, at the plate. First pitch by Stubblefield is outside for ball 1. Pinkston struck out in his first at-bat in the second inning. Sophomore out of Cal State Fullerton. 1-0 pitch by Stubblefield is a swing and a miss for strike 1.
Tanner Pinkston hit a walk-off 3-run home run on July 17th. That was last Thursday against the Miners up in Fairbanks.
Pinkston with the open stance, waving his bat. 1-1 is swung on and ground ball right to the third baseman. Jordan Rogers gets over his head, though, came off his glove, and that is another base runner for the Panthers. That is ruled a single, so 2 singles in a row for the Panthers, and that was a very, very hard hit ground ball right down the third base side, and Rogers was there for it, but it was just hit so hard, and I think it took a little bit of a hop, and it just went right off his glove over his head, but good job by Rogers of quickly turning it around and finding that ball, preventing the base runners from advancing and taking more bases. And at the plate now is Tanner Hayes, the lefty. Lefty-lefty matchup, and Stubblefield with the first pitch, and that is called strike. Hayes 0 for 1 with a line out in the second inning. 7 home runs, 34 RBIs, 8 doubles, 3 triples on the season, so he can get those extra bases and move those base runners. Stubblefield sets. 0-1 is a swing and a miss, strike 2. 0-2 count for Stubblefield, and Tanner Hayes has a 369 average on the season. Junior out of Indiana State University. Stubblefield looks into his catcher, Meyer. Sets. Keeps an eye on Bazillion on second. Delivers the 0-2, and it's called strike 3. And that is the 4th strikeout of the night for Tyler Stubblefield. And the Miners leave 2 stranded. No runs on 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left on. As we head to the bottom of the 4th, the Miners and Panthers are still tied at 0. You're listening to the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Leading off for the Miners is Matthew Decker out of Stanford University. Decker 0 for 1 with the ground out in the 1st inning. First pitch by Harmony, fastball called strike 1. Decker 267 average, 2 home runs, 14 RBIs, 5 doubles. 0-1 pitch is a swing and a miss. Decker now down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Decker, a very nice kid who we've kind of gotten to know and likes to eat ice cream. A little fun fact about Matthew Decker. 0-2 is outside.
Sister plays volleyball in high school, and we've watched her just hit the ball whenever we saw her when his family was here, and she's pretty good.
And his mom said that they do that in their street and stuff, and that's called strike 3 for Matthew Decker. And doesn't look too pleased with that call. But that is the 3rd strikeout of the afternoon for Russell Harmony. And that brings up Josh Meyer, the Miner, catching tonight for Tyler Stubblefield. 1 for 1 with a single in the 2nd inning. Made it to 3rd base, but then was left on. First pitch by Harmony is outside for ball 1. Meyer, participant in the All-Star game on Sunday.
Started the All-Star game.
1 home run and 7 RBIs. 0-1 is called strike 2. Meyer with 8 doubles and 2 triples out of Grand Canyon University. Hometown is Mission Viejo, California. 1-2 is low and away, ball 2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes to Meyer. 1 away here in the bottom of the 4th, and we are still scoreless. Meyer holds the bat above his head with the open stance, and it is a swing and a miss for strike 2. Outfield playing straight away, along with the infield. No runners on, 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. 2-2 pitch is foul, slow roller down the 3rd base sides. Meyer stays alive with the 2-2 count.
Josh Meyer has 5 extra base hits in his last 5 games. He was 1 for 5 with a double yesterday against the Chinooks.
Myers steps back into the right-handed batter's box.
Good hitter, but also calls a great game behind the plate.
2-2 pitch by Harmony. Another foul tip back. He does call a great game, and especially with Stubblefield, just has a great relationship with the pitchers.
It's one of my favorite things. I mean, this is my second summer doing summer collegiate league broadcasting, and something I love a lot is just watching all these guys from different schools come together and just form these friendships. And I know that it's kind of the same for us, sort of behind the scenes. I still talk with my broadcast partner from last summer every day, and he goes to Notre Dame. So it's kind of like camp.
2-2 is low and inside for ball 3, and that was something I kind of talked about with Mitchell Now in today's pregame profile, because Mitchell Now and Dane Wunderlich, two Texans, Mitchell Now out of A&M, Wunderlich out of Rice, kind of, forming a pretty good friendship. That is ball 4 for Josh Meyer, and second time he reaches base. First base runner of the bottom of the 4th here. So yeah, if you want to learn more about what Dane and Mitchell have been up to, be sure to check that out on our YouTube page. Brings up Cameron Frost, the center fielder. Reached on a single, but then was thrown out in a 6-4-3 double play. Frost with 5 home runs, 22 RBIs, 11 doubles, 7 triples.
That leads the Alaska Baseball League.
It's not a hard. It's not. Excuse me. Not an easy, extra base hit to come by.
No,
those triples.
Not at all.
He has 7. Throw to first. Check Meyer is safe.
He's got the speed.
That definitely helps.
And he hits opposite field a lot into that right center field gap.
Frost with the 0-1 count. 0-1 is called strike on that outside part of this plate for strike 2.
Yeah, we've seen Frost chase a pitch on the outer half, so I think right now he's just being a little bit more patient with those pitches, but Harmony painting that outside black perfectly.
Harmony sets. Here's the 0-2 is low and away, ball 1. Frost out of Washington State University.
He's from Olympia.
Harmony sets for the 1-2. And delivers its low and away again for ball 2.
Have you been, other than stopping there on the way here, I don't know exactly where Olympia is in relation to Seattle, but have you ever been to Seattle other than that time you stopped?
I've not been to Washington or Seattle really, other than the airport, but hey, I met some Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl champions.
Oh, yes, we did.
2-2 is hit foul. 2-2 count remains for Frost. But like I said yesterday, I'd love to go visit Portland, Oregon, Seattle, Washington, kind of the Northwest. I've been to California, but that's about it. Been to San Francisco.
I've been to Portland, but I don't really remember it.
2-2 is blown away. Throw down to first. Meyer is safe. And now a full count for Frost.
Frost, this is probably one of, if not the most patient at-bats we've seen from him this summer.
Oh, definitely.
He likes to swing at that first pitch and swing at that outside slider, but he's being real patient in this at-bat.
3-2, called strike 3. And that is the 4th strikeout for Russell Harmony. And actually, every strikeout by Harmony has been looking. There has not been one strikeout swinging.
That just shows he's got good stuff.
That's why we're still scoreless through 3.5.
Yep.
3.5. That brings up Johnny Loker, the left fielder. Grounded into a 6-4-3 double play in his last at-bat in the 2nd inning. Harmony sets. Delivers the first pitch. Is outside, ball 1. Loker out of Stanford, teammate of Matthew Decker. 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, 7 doubles on the season, hitting .359. Harmony sets. Loker waves the bat. 0-1 is swung on and missed for strike 2. Strike 1, excuse me. Outfield playing straight away for Loker. 1-1 pitch is in there, called strike 2.
Meyer has not attempted a stolen base this summer. Matthew Decker, who's originally a catcher, he has 2. It's pretty impressive for a catcher.
He has those long strides, though. He's so tall. 1-2 gets away from the catcher, Hutting, and Meyer stays at first, and Loker now with a 2-2 count at the plate.
Minor, just a 7-inning game. Game 1 of a doubleheader, but this will go into extras if necessary. The Pilots and the Oilers getting ready to start things down in Kenai. That's a 5 o'clock start.
2-2 pitch is blown away for ball 3. This is the 3rd full count situation in a row. Meyer worked the count full, reached on a walk. Frost worked it full, struck out. And now Loker at the plate with the 3-2 count. Harmoning sets and delivers. Swung on and fouled back.
We had our second to last Taylor's Take today with head coach Ben Taylor, our weekly interview. Check that out on YouTube. He's talked about Ryan Hendricks. He's also talked about Terrence Connolly.
3-2 pitch by Harmony is lined into left field. That gets down for a base hit, and Meyer stays at second. Now 2 base runners on for the Matsu Miners.
That's a great at-bat by Johnny Loker right there. Worked the count full, was patient, and just waited for that pitch that he wanted. And Terrence Connolly coming to the plate, who has just been, his bat has just been on fire. I mean, not literally, but I mean, 6 for his last 12 entering this afternoon's game. So he's really feeling things at the plate, and he's got an RBI opportunity right here.
Not to mention he had a 3-run triple yesterday at Chugiak against the Chinooks. Conley steps into the left-handed batter's box out of UNC Wilmington. First pitch is outside for ball 1.
Another thing about that Loker at bat, worked the count full, waited for that right pitch. And sometimes when you get a hit, when a pitcher's working that full count and there's just foul ball after foul ball, and then the batter gets a hit off you, it's like, oh man, I almost had him, but he won.
1-0 is, the 0-1, little inside for ball 2, and Conley at his last at bat was hit by a pitch. Open stance. 0-2 is high and away for ball 3. Yeah, Conley can get those RBIs, but can also be patient at the plate and, get walked or get hit by a pitch or, just any way to either get on base or move the base runners.
And that goes with what Ben Taylor said just the other day. He said, Connolly may not get the hits, but he'll do something to help the team, and that includes just get on base.
3-0 is outside, ball 4. That loads the bases for the Miners, and designated hitter Hunter Simmons heading to the plate.
I had said just the other night, I'm trying to remember what night it was. I think it was on Saturday in the showcase against the Bucks. I had said, I just feel it. I sense it. Hunter Simmons is going to have that big hit coming up, and the pitching coach Ken Hoka for the Panners and the catcher Eric Cutting out to talk with Russell Harmoning, and now Ben Taylor going to talk with Hunter Simmons between third base and home plate. No score in the bottom of the 4th. Each team has 3 hits, though.
There are 2 outs now. Bottom of the 4th with Meyer on third. He reached on a walk. Loker at second, reached on a single. And Conley at first, who was just walked. Decker and Frost both struck out looking. And Simmons, who's 0 for 1, he struck out in the 2nd inning at the plate. First pitch by Harmoning, and they're called strike 1.
A big hit would be a huge confidence boost here for Hunter Simmons heading into a pretty important week of baseball for the Miners.
Loker with a lead off at first, along with Meyer and Conley. Harmoning sets. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and fouled down the first base side. Strike 1.
Hunter got a pretty good look at that pitch. He just fouled it off the end of the bat. Had that have hit the middle of the bat, that probably would have been a single, maybe a double down that right field line.
Harmony gets the sign from his catcher, Hudding. Outfield playing straight away. Here's the 0-2. Swung on and ground ball back to the pitcher, Harmony, and is able to flip it to first base to Pinkston. And Harmony gets out of a jam. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 3 runners left on. So we head to the top of the 5th. We are still scoreless through 4. You're listening to the Mat-Su Miners Radio Network.
Tyler Stubblefield back out there for his 5th inning of work. He has been excellent through his 4 innings. He will face Hunter Villanueva, Eric Hudding, and Ryan Clark. That's 7, 8, and 9. Hunter Simmons grounded back to the pitcher, Russell Harmoning, with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 4th. First pitch from Stubblefield is a fly ball to deep right. Newell going back. He's under it. Makes the catch for out number 1. That'll bring up Eric Hudding, the catcher. He grounded out to second in the 3rd inning. Hudding played in 1 game against the Miners up in Fairbanks, was 0 for 3. That was Thursday's game. Panners won 7-4 on a walk-off 3-run home run by Tanner Pinkston. Glove over Stubblefield's face, and the first pitch is a breaking ball in there called strike. Jordan Rogers has probably the front half of his foot on the grass, the back half of his foot on the dirt at third base. 0-1. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Strike 2, 0-2 on Hudding. Pilots and Oilers are underway in Kenai. No score in the top of the 1st. Scattered gray skies, clouds above playing field. That ball gets away from the catcher, Meyer, but nobody on base, and it's 1-2 on Hudding. Hudding out of Long Beach State. Just finished his sophomore year. 1-2. Fastball, a little up and in, 2-2. Game 2 of the doubleheader will start about 45 minutes after the completion of Game 1. Stubblefield with the glove over his face, looks into the catcher Meyer for the sign. He has it. He kicks the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikeout number 6 for Tyler Stubblefield, 2 down in the top of the 5th.
Now batting third baseman Ryan Clark.
Now 2 down for Ryan Clark out of UC Santa Barbara. He singled in the 3rd inning. Stubblefield has only given up 3 hits through the 4 innings. First pitch is a fastball high, ball 1. Stubblefield threw a complete game, 134 pitches on June 1st against Texas in the regionals, as that pitch gets away from Meyer. hit the plate and went through Myers' legs as well as the home plate umpire Robert Mays.
Not to mention that Stubblefield has thrown 2 complete games up here in Alaska.
2-0, breaking ball in there, called strike. 2-1. Stubblefield works very quickly. 2-1. Here it is. Lifted right side, foul out of play. Stubblefield is 6'5", 210 pounds. 2-2, here it is. Swing and a miss, strike 3, chase an off-speed pitch in the dirt. And that is the 7th strikeout for Tyler Stubblefield. It's no runs on, no hits, no errors, nobody left on. Still scoreless, we head to the bottom of the 5th on the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Two three for Tyler Stubblefield. Russell Harmony is back out there from the bottom of the 5th. Face the Miners, Jordan Rogers, Paul Panachone, and Cam Newell. Rogers popped out to the first baseman Tanner Pinkston in foul ground in the 3rd inning. Rogers out of the University of Tennessee, along with teammate Kyle Serrano. First pitch coming from Harmony is a fastball in the inner half for a called strike. Rogers threw 35 touchdowns as a quarterback in high school his senior year. 0-1 from Harmony. Off speed upstairs, 1-1. Outfield is straight away for Rogers. Right fielder Paulino is a little shallow and right. 1-1. Off speed in there, called strike. 1-2 on Rogers. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Panners. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Miners. Harmony with the glove over his face. He kicks, and here's the 1-2 to Rogers. Check swing. Went around, strike 3. 5th strikeout for Russell Harmony, 1 down to the 5th. Got him with a good changeup. Here is Paul Panachone, 0 for 2, 2 groundouts, 1 to short in 3rd, 1 to 3rd in the 1st. First pitch from Harmony, here it is. Check swing and foul. Lands on the the left-hander's batter's box. And it's 0-1 on Panachone out of Grand Canyon. Paul hit .256 for GCU this year. 0-1 coming from Harmony. He delivers, and that's a fastball too far inside. 1-1 on Panachone. Paul has 11 doubles. That's tied for 2nd in the ABL. 1-1. Off speed, lifted right side. Second baseman Villanueva calls for it. In shallow right toward the line, and makes the catch on the right field foul line. 2 away. And that brings up Cam Newell. Newell is 0 for 2. He struck out looking in the 3rd. Grounded out to short in the 1st. He had a great night last night. 3 for 6 against the Chinooks. All singles, but he did have 2 RBIs. First pitch, fastball in there, called strike on the inner half. 1-1. Miners haven't swung the bat a lot tonight.
They haven't. They've been very patient.
0-1. Low and gets to the backstop on an off-speed pitch, 1-1. All of Harmoning's strikeouts, as Emma said earlier, were looking until Rogers just struck out swinging. Harmoning with the glove over his face, 1-1.
Yeah, get out there.
Ripped foul, right side over by the Miners bullpen. Newell out of UC Santa Barbara. He's hitting 9 of his last 10 games. Harmoning looks into the catcher, Hutting for the sign. He has it. He kicks and delivers the 1-2. Newell reaches out and slaps it foul straight back. Still 1-2. Cam has reached in 28 of the 29 games he's appeared in. Harmony doesn't work as quickly as Stubblefield, but delivers the 1-2. Off speed, low and in. 2-2 on Newell. Newell was also recruited by Oregon State, Kansas, and Western Oregon. 2-2. Low, 3-2, a full count. Newell's from Roseburg, Oregon. Has that bat resting on his left shoulder. 3-2. In the dirt, and that is ball 4. A 2-out base runner for the Miners, and that'll bring up Matthew Decker from Stanford. Newell has 9 steals on the summer.
That is the 3rd walk of the game for Russell Harmony.
Newell has only been caught once. Now the catcher Eric Hutting meeting with Harmoning at the end of the mound. 2 away, no score in the bottom of the 5th. Just a 7-inning game unless extras are needed. Decker with that deep breath stands in, points the bat, points it again. First pitch, fastball outside, ball 1.
Decker is from Portland, Oregon.
He is. 1-0. Off speed, that's low, 2-0. I always get these guys mixed up from where they live because it seems like half of them live in Texas, the other half live in California. Like 2 or 3 or even 4 of them live in Washington State.
Or Oregon.
Oregon.
I get the California guys, their hometowns all mixed up.
2-0. Lifted foul, right side, 2-1. I should quiz you. Where's Josh Meyer from?
Mission Viejo. That's easy because I have a friend
Right.
from Mission Viejo.
Where's Hunter Simmons from?
Oh. I want to say like the LA area, maybe?
No. San Francisco area.
Oh.
2-1. Lifted right side. And that is foul over by the Miners bullpen. 2-2. If he had hit that left of that foul pole, would have been extra base, and the Miners would definitely have a 1-0 lead. Newell has a lot of speed on first base. 9 steals. That leads the Matsu Miners. Actually tied with Paul Panachone. 2-2. 2 outs. Runner at first in Newell. No score. Pitch. Lifted high and deep to left, but Brandon Caruso was under it now. Takes about 5 steps in. He's still coming in and makes the catch for out number 3. It's no runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on. We are through 5 full innings. No score on the Matsu Miners Radio Network.
Tyler Stubblefield on the mound here in the 6th inning. And we are still scoreless. And Brandon Caruso, the leadoff batter for the Panthers, at the plate. First pitch by the lefty, and they're called strike one. Stubblefield has just been great through his first 5 innings of work.
So is Russell Harmoning for the Panthers.
And the 0-1 pitch is high and inside for ball 1. And Tyler Stubblefield also played quarterback in high school. He broke passing records, received 2 letters, and first-team All-District honors as a senior. 1-1 is lined fouled on the first base side.
He's just an excellent athlete.
Did
he play basketball? I don't think he did.
No. He broke passing records, number of touchdown passes in a game, and held the title of longest pass ever at Lufkin. 1-2 is a slow roller down the third base side, and Stubblefield and Rogers both were charging for it and didn't really communicate of who was going to pick it up. So that is the first base runner of the 6th. That is ruled a single for Caruso.
Yeah, just some miscommunication, but Stubblefield, as we said, he's had runners on this afternoon. The Panthers have 4 hits, but he always finds a way to come out and attack, and he has a benefit right here with the lefty Paulino coming to the plate. Lefty-lefty matchup.
Paulino 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts. Stubblefield looking in, getting the sign from his catcher Meyer. Sets and puts down a bunt right to the right of the mound. Stubblefield spins around to throw Caruso out at second, and Paulino is safe at first. So great play, athletic play by Stubblefield just to the right of the mound. Picked it up, spun around, and threw it to the shortstop, Panachone, who was covering second base.
You know, that's excellent. I mean, that's just great heads-up plays by Tyler Stubblefield and also Paul Panachone. And, you know, that's good because most pitchers would probably go to first base, but Stubblefield's not that guy. He's going to go to second. He's going to get that out if he knows he has time.
Now at the plate is Cody Nolf. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike one. And another little tidbit about Stubblefield's career in high school football. He led his team the first round of playoffs his junior year and third round his senior year. And in Texas, that is no easy feat when it comes to high school football. 0-1 is low for ball 1.
Even I know that.
Yeah.
Update on the score in Kenai. No score in the top of the segment between the Pilots and the Oilers. Magic number is 2.
I can kind of see Tyler Stubblefield as a very tall Manziel kind of esque. Swung on and gets behind Meyer, and Paulino moves to second. We rolled a pass ball. Now the count for Cody Nolf at the plate is 1-2 with 1 away.
Stubblefield really good on batters that have 2 strikes. Definitely that power pitcher. Doesn't throw like 95, but can get up to about 91, 92.
1-2 to Nolf is lifted, fouled on the third base side, out of play.
And sometimes you don't have to be that power pitcher because sometimes when you're a power pitcher, you sometimes just tend to not focus as much on your command and sometimes with speed. Ben Taylor always says if you can throw 95, you're good. You're set because you can't really work on speed.
1-2 is a little high for ball 2.
But you can work on mechanics. And Stubblefield, although his fastball is around 91, 92, and could probably touch 93, I'm always wondering if he's really capable of getting it up to like 96 or even 97. But I think one of the things he fears is maybe a loss of control.
Well, and another thing I've kind of learned from BT is that you can't really teach speed.
Right.
That is something you have. Right. Something that, like Kyle Serrano, he has that speed, and his command is mechanics. Stubblefield, though, he can throw these great pitches and doesn't always need that fastball. Here's the 2-2 by Stubblefield, and it's a swing and a miss, strike 3, and the 8th strikeout of the game.
That's a big out right there because that's a dangerous bat.
Brings up Bon Bazoian, another dangerous bat in the Painters lineup. 7 home runs, 30 RBIs, 9 doubles. 1 for 2, struck out swinging in the second and had a single in the fourth, but was left on base. Stubblefield looks in. Quick look at second base to Polino. Delivers the first pitch, and it's a ground ball foul down the third base side. The third base coach, Ken Hokuff, tried to point that fair, but it was foul. Bazoian now at the 0-1 count. Runner on second, the leading run, the first run of the game at second base. High and inside for ball 1 by Stubblefield. Also 2 away.
Miner, no post-game show for Game 1. We will have a little bit of a longer post-game show for Game 2 as we'll recap both games. Send those player of the game votes in. We'll announce the player of the game for Game 1 at the end of Game 1. Then you won't hear from that player. Hear from the player of the game for Game 2.
Pitch by Stubblefield is a swing and a miss for strike 2.
Stubblefield, a dangerous pitcher when he has 2 strikes on a batter. He knows that pitch to go to.
Caruso reached on a single, but then was thrown out by Stubblefield 1-6. Polino reached on that fielder's choice, then reached second on the pass ball. Swing and a miss, strike 3 for Stubblefield, and the 9th strikeout of the afternoon by the Aggie. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on as we head to the bottom of the 6th. The Miners and Painters still scoreless. You're listening to the Matsu Miners Radio Network. Josh Meyer heading to the plate for the Miners. 4, 5, and 6 here in the top of the bottom of the 6th. Meyer, Frost, and Loker. Meyer 1 for 1 with a single in the second, was a walk in the fourth, and has been able to reach base at both of those at-bats. Meyer steps in, very open stance, holds the bat above his head. First pitch by Harmony is a swing and a miss for strike 1. Meyer with 1 home run, 7 RBIs, 8 doubles, and 2 triples on the season. Called strike 2. Now Meyer down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. The windup by Harmony. Breaking ball swung on and ground ball right up the middle. That's a leadoff single for Josh Meyer.
That's exactly what the Miners need. Just find ways to get those base hits, especially it's getting late. It's late in the game.
It's only a 7-inning game. Cameron Frost at the plate had a single in the second inning, but then was thrown out at second with a 6-4-3 double play. Then worked the count full in his last at-bat, but was struck out. First pitch is outside for ball 1. Frost, the right-handed batter, the open stance, and the Pitch is called strike one. He's got it 1 ball, 1 strike. Outfield playing straight away. The left fielder Caruso playing a little bit deep. 1-1 by Harmony. Inside, ball 2.
Scoreboard just identical. No runs, 4 hits, no errors for both sides.
Swing and a miss for strike 2 by Frost.
Oh, he was going for the fences.
Frost with a lot of power, 5 home runs, not to mention 11 doubles and 7 triples.
6'2", 185. But as you mentioned, a lot of power for that leadoff type hitter.
2-2 breaking ball inside, full count. Last time Frost worked a full count, he was struck out looking. That was in the 4th inning.
He singled in the 2nd.
Myers at first base with a little bit of a lead off. Harmony sets. Here's 3-2. Twisted foul behind us. Stays alive with the 3-2 count. Frost waves the bat over home plate. Harmony with the sign from his catcher. Here's the 3-2. Swung on and twisted foul again. Frost gets another go.
Yeah, he's not missing by much. He really isn't. He's swinging a little bit over the ball, and the ball's just skimming right on the bottom part of the bat. Just has to have that swing a little bit more even with the ball.
3-2 is lined over the glove of first baseman Pinkston. Gets down into right field. Frost grounds first, heads into second. And Meyer holds up that third. And it is a double for Cameron Frost.
You know, and he hit that in probably the best part of the ballpark he could. Just down that right field line. That ball was right over the glove of a leaping, and I mean leaping, Tanner Pinkston at first base. And that's going to bring a visit to the mound from Mike Rahovic, the head coach, and he signals for a new pitcher.
And we will find out who that pitcher is and step aside. Be right back after this. Andrew Buehler, the new pitcher for the Panners, senior out of the University of Nebraska, Omaha. Hometown is Trenton, Illinois. And at the plate is Johnny Loker.
Buehler, 6'5", 230 pounds, a 3.85 ERA and a 1-2 record.
First pitch to Loker, right over the plate, called strike one. Meyer on third, reached on a single, Frost on second, reached on a double. Here in the bottom of the sixth, still scoreless with no outs. Buehler sets, and delivers the 0-1. Is lifted deep into center field. Hayes takes a few steps now in. The wind blew it back in, catches it. Meyer tags up at third, runs home. The throw in. He's out. Meyer tried to slide in, and Frost stays at second. And Loker is out. So quickly, just like that, 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th. That brings up Terrence Conley. Conley has reached base for both of his at-bats, hit by a pitch in the 2nd, was walked in the 4th. Steps to the plate with Frost, the leading run at 2nd. First pitch is a big swing and a miss, strike 1.
Now Connolly needs just a base hit down, probably that first base line to get Frost in from 2nd. If he can hit a ball relatively far from someone in the outfield,
One of the gaps.
Frost has a chance to score.
1 is outside, ball 1. Terrence steps back in. Lefty out of UNC Wilmington with the open stance. The 1-1. Swung on and fouled on the third base side. Strike 2. Outfield playing straight away, maybe a couple steps in. Caruso still maybe a couple steps back in left field. Conley steps in. Bueller sets. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and lined just over the infield into left field. Scooped up by Caruso. Frost heads home. Here's the throw. Frost slides in and he's safe. Conley with the RBI double. The Miners are up 1-0 over the Panners. And that is exactly the kind of player that Conley is. Just batting those players in, running, just moving the base runners. And Frost had that speed to turn that maybe double into making it all the way home.
That's just a huge hit for the Miners. There's no question about it. And Connolly has really been swinging a hot bat, and that's what the Miners needed in this situation. And we have a pinch hitter, Nick Blazer, coming to the plate.
Blazer steps in for Hunter Simmons. Blazer out of Cal State Northridge. And was a late arrival to the Miners team, arrived the same time as Cam Newell. Right-handed batter steps in, waves the bat over the plate. Bueller sets. And the first pitch is inside, ball 1. So now the Miners lead 1-0. The scoreboard says 2-0, but the Miners are up by 1. 1-0 is ground ball to the second baseman, Villanueva. Scoops it up, throw it to first, and that is the 3rd out. But 1 run scores on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left on. We head to the top of the 7th. The Miners lead the Panners 1-0. You're listening to the Matsu Miners Radio Network.
Tyler Stubblefield out to finish it off, and his first pitch to Tanner Pinkston is a ground ball right side. Picked on the backhand by Connolly, throw to first in time.
Again, this is just a 7-inning game, and the Miners lead 1-0.
As there's one away in the top of the 7th. 1-0 lead for the Miners. RBI double for Terrence Connolly. Here is Jacob Hayes. 0 for 2. The Miners need to win, and the Pilots need to lose for the Miners to officially be the National League champions. First pitch from Stubblefield in there, called strike. In Kenai, there's no score between the Pilots and the Oilers in the top of the 4th. 0-1, 1 out. Here's the pitch. That's a little low, an off-speed pitch, 1-1. 1-0 Miners in the top of the 7th. Just a 7-inning game. No post-game show. Send those votes in for player of the game. Send us an email, MatsuMinersBroadcast@gmail.com, or tweet at us at ABLMiners. 1-1. Check swing and goes to the right of Josh Meyer toward the third base dugout. That's the Panners dugout. 2-1 on Jacob Hayes. Hayes out of Indiana State, a redshirt junior. You can also comment on the video feed below for your player of the game. 1-2 pitch to Hayes. Slapped left side, foul. 1-2 with 1 out. One and two. Here's the pitch from Stubblefield. Ground ball, right side, foul in front of the Miners dugout. Game 2 will start approximately 45 minutes after the completion of this game. 1-2 on Jacob Hayes. Hunter Villanueva on deck. 1-2 pitch. Low with a fastball. 2-2. Stubblefield just so dialed in out there. 2-2. 1 out. Here's the pitch. Hard chopper, first base side, foul. Rolls over toward the Miners' right field bullpen. Still 2-2.
This is the first full count of the game for Stubblefield.
1-0 Miners in the top of the 7th. Just a 7-inning game. Pitch. Chopper, right side again, foul. Stubblefield with the glove over his face. Looks into the catcher Meyer for the sign. Nods his head and delivers the 2-2. Fly ball right side, foul. Still 2-2. One vote for player of the game. Continue to send them in. Email us, MatsuMinersBroadcast@gmail.com. 2-2. Called strike 3. Strikeout number 10 for Tyler Stubblefield. There's 2 down in the top of the 7th.
Tyler Stubblefield, I mean, just what a performance by Stubblefield. 10 strikeouts.
Now there's 2 down for Hunter Villanueva. Villanueva 0 for 2. He flew out to right in the 5th inning. First pitch from Stubblefield. Off speed, a little high, 1-0. A win for the Miners if they can finish this off. They'll need a loss from the Pilots to clinch the National League. 1-0. Breaking ball in there, called strike, 1-1. Two outs and a 1-0 lead in the top of the 7th. Just a 7-inning game. 1-1. And that hits him. It looked like the ankle.
I think that might have hit him in the quad, and that's kind of a dead leg situation.
Just got to shake that off a little bit, jog it out.
It's not, it's, you know, it doesn't really hurt you in the long run, but initially it's just your whole leg goes dead.
Yeah, he's trying to walk that off.
Happened to me in basketball one time.
Trying to stretch that out. Now here is Eric Hutting, the catcher from Long Beach State. Mike Grahovic meeting with him halfway between home plate and third base. And it looks like we're going to have a pinch runner for Villanueva.
That is Scooter Bynum.
Scooter Bynum, yes.
A high school senior out of Monroe Catholic Prep from Fairbanks, Alaska.
Number 6, Scooter Bynum.
So now Hunter Villanueva out of the game with Bynum on first base. Meyer talking things over with Stubblefield, and Meyer making his way back to the plate. 2 outs, and Eric Hutting, who's 0 for 2, is coming to the plate. Scooter Bynum with 3 stolen bases on the summer. It's been caught once. Lefty delivers the first pitch. Fastball up and away, ball 1.
Hutting 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout.
1-0. Fastball in there, a called strike. Hutting doesn't like the call from home plate umpire Robert Mays. 1-1. Bynum had a pretty decent lead off first base. Stubblefield looking at first base. 1-1. Breaking ball left upstairs, a little high, 2-1. Can also tweet us your player of the game at ABL Miners. Stubblefield sets, delivers the 2-1. Chopped foul right at home plate, and it's 2-2 with 2 outs. Again, the Miners need to win this game and then a Pilots loss to clinch the National League. Both teams, though, still have one more game to play today. Both playing doubleheaders. 2-2, 2 outs. Hutting points the bat. Hands level with his right ear. 2-2. Stays live, fouls it off Robert Mays, the home plate umpire. Still 2-2. It's dangerous behind home plate.
It is. We've seen quite a few home plate umpires get hit, one of which had to leave the game. I don't remember exactly who it was, but yeah, that was at Mulcahy against the Pilots.
Yeah, that was on June 22nd. Field umpire Tim Davis talking things over with Tyler Stubblefield behind the mound, probably to give Robert Mays a little time to gather himself together behind home plate. Scooter Bynum is the pinch runner at first base. He ran for Hunter Villanueva, who was hit by a pitch. 2-2, 2 outs on Eric Hutting. Stubblefield sets, delivers the 2-2. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 3. The game is over. The Matsu Miners defeat the Alaska Goldpanners of Fairbanks 1-0. The magic number is now 1. The Pilots game is still in session in the top of the 4th. No score in Kenai. If they lose, the Miners are National League champions, so just another step toward that goal. Again, the final score, the Miners defeat the Panners 1-0, a complete game shutout for Tyler Stubblefield. And remember, Game 2 will start about 45 minutes from now, so we'll be back. We are going to close this video feed and open a new one, so be back with us in 45 minutes, and we'll have Game 2 of the doubleheader. Once again, the final score, the Miners beat the Panners 1-0 in Game 1 of the doubleheader. We'll be back in about 40 minutes. Stay with us. Should be a good game.